This is Tiny Improvements. I'm Mike Bifulco. One of the most famous ad campaigns in history is Yellowtail Wine's Crazy Rooster campaign. It's so famous because it broke two cardinal rules of advertising. One, you don't want to be memorable for the wrong reasons, and two, you don't want to offend your customer base. What made this campaign so effective was that it didn't just break these rules, but it completely shattered them by doing the exact opposite of what conventional wisdom would tell you. They built their entire brand around being offensive. They were known for making crazy claims like, Yellowtail tastes like shit. They put up billboards in airports saying, if it wasn't for stupid people, we wouldn't have any customers. And they even used slogans like, the only thing yellow about Yellowtail is the color of our piss. These things wouldn't actually make anyone buy Yellowtail wine, right? What they found was that people loved it, and when people love something, they tell other people about it. The end result? A $500 million brand in Australia with no marketing spend. Why? Because they focused on the right things. The von Restorff Effect. Bonkers marketing campaigns spawn successful brands. Okay, so now this is an important place to take a pause. Up until this point, every word you heard from me was written by AI. It's also completely untrue. I've been playing around with the idea of using AI to generate blog posts for my site, mostly out of curiosity. I wanted to see if AI could produce quality writing content, with the hope of comparing analytics for a few AI-generated articles to some that were written entirely on my own. There are tools available online which let you feed a couple bullet points into a generator and select the type of writing you're looking for, whether it's an article or email copy or a bulleted list or something like that. You pick a few options and you hit go, and in moments you've got some fresh new prose to use for whatever you please. After reading the AI-generated Crazy Rooster campaign article stub, I wanted to find some images of the marketing campaign that it mentioned, so off to the search engines I went. For me, this was a truly jaw-dropping moment. There wasn't a single image that I could find which mentions or references the Crazy Rooster campaign. I dug deeper. I soon found out that not only were there no images from the campaign, but I couldn't find any references to that ad campaign anywhere. Yellowtail's site, marketing blogs, search engines all returned nothing. I even searched for smaller fragments of text from the article and came back with absolutely nothing meaningful. As far as I can tell, it never happened. It doesn't exist. In other words, AI had written a really compelling article which was completely and utterly fabricated. How cool is that? What I suspect happened is this. The information that I fed into the algorithm that this particular AI used weaved together partial anecdotes from a large number of publicly available external sources, creating a believable, compelling, yet non-existent story about a real brand's marketing strategy. That's fucking impressive and kind of terrifying. Friends, I'm here to tell you, the AI tools that are available right now can author content which is shockingly good. There's a massively important caveat that we need to understand about AI-powered writing. Remember, in the end, AI is just guessing at the intelligence part of its job, at least for now. Can you imagine if I had accepted this article as truth and published it without the surrounding context? The only reason I discovered this wasn't true was because I took the time to look up corroborating information. But it would be super easy to skip that step, especially if you didn't understand some of the fundamentals of AI. So let's shift back to the original purpose of the article, though. What is the von Restorff effect? Well, in principle, the von Restorff effect is simple. Given a group of similar choices, people tend to remember experiences or products which defy expectations. In other words, the thing that stands out the most tends to be stickiest, and the more memorable the unexpected experience is, the stickier it will be. This phenomenon can also be used to make products more sticky by building experiences which defy expectations. In any marketplace with significant competition, creating a standout experience can give your product a massive advantage. For articles on my site, I keep a list of topics that I want to write about in a big list. I slowly add individual topics over time, and once I feel like there's enough information on a given topic to produce a meaningful article, I spend some time organizing thoughts from the note into prose, and then I publish it. To generate this article, I grabbed one of the ideas from the list, which was the von Restorff effect, which is a very real psychological phenomenon that caught my attention some time back. I fed the topic and a few cliff notes into an AI tool to see what it could generate. Really, it was just a few bullet points and a thesis statement for the article. I wanted to talk about how the von Restorff effect can be used in product marketing to create something sticky, something that'll be memorable. And so I fed the tool and I clicked go. The article that I read to you earlier is what came of it. What I was really impressed with initially was the quality of the writing. No grammatical changes were needed. There was a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it put together a super compelling story that served the points that I was hoping to make. In short, I was really impressed, and then absolutely stunned when I realized what happened. So, what can we learn from this experience? Well, I came away from it with two important learnings. First, ironically, the experience was an amazing example of the von Restorff effect for me. I froze in bewilderment the moment I realized what was going on, with thoughts racing through my mind like I had reached the end of Fight Club for the first time. It's a moment I won't soon forget. Number two, this is a really important lesson in working with AI and how powerful it is. If you're not aware of the capabilities and limits of the tools you're using, you're entering dangerous territory. The nugget here for people building products is simple. If you can create an experience that completely defies expectations, your product will be far stickier with your potential customers. It's worth noting that I have intentionally omitted the name of the AI tool that led me to this experience. For me, it's because I'm struggling with whether or not it's responsible to point my readers and listeners to tools that can easily lead you to a false sense of certainty. You know, as they say, with great power comes great responsibility and all that. Given that most of my audience are developers, I think it should suffice to say that I used a product based on OpenAI's GPT-3. It's an extremely robust AI for generating language. All told, this is a story that I've really struggled to tell because of how important I feel it is. I can tell you this much, I certainly won't be writing entire blog posts with AI anytime soon, but I will be periodically checking in on this stuff to see how much better it's getting. I think there's an ethical responsibility to understand the limits and capabilities of AI content creation tools. So I guess to sum it all up, as we introduce AI into more parts of our work and our lives, we need to be aware of the risks of using it. As technologists, there's an ethical responsibility to communicate these risks to our non-technical neighbors in ways that they can understand. It's my hope that this anecdote about trying to generate a blog post with AI is something that can serve as a warning which you can explain to your Aunt Judy or your boss or the influencers in your feed who may not seem to understand all of the risks of using AI. If you found this story interesting, I'd love it if you shared it with a friend. And if you've got thoughts on other experiments you'd like to see with AI, feel free to let me know. I'm always accessible on my website at mikebyfulco.com or on Twitter at irreverentmike. I'll see you there.